You know, it was building up and building up and building up and building up, and you couldn't stop it. By the time of the 1988 NHL playoffs, the three key referees in the NHL, Kerry Fraser, Don Koharski, and Terry Gregson, had built up so much of a combination of bad feeling in hockey fans and coaches and players that you knew something was going to break. So today we're going to be talking about the incident that we call in Canada l'affaire donut. The donut affair, or in the case of Jim Schoenfeld, you fell, you fat pig, have another donut. This was the 1988 NHL playoffs, according to Bleacher Report, that changed hockey. Now, May 6, 1988, a day that will live in infamy for the NHL. Disagree? Maybe you don't remember the black eye moment that took place after Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. The ever getting better New Jersey Devils had just lost to perennial powerhouses the Boston Bruins 6-1 when things really turned ugly. New Jersey head coach Jim Schoenfeld, who didn't like Don Koharski's refereeing during the contests, confronted him after the match. Now, in those days, hockey games had only one referee. Thanks to the video footage in the behind the bench area, some of the unknowns of that event have been cleared up. There was never any doubt about Schoenfeld confronting Koharski or that he verbally assaulted him. However, the video appears to show that Schoenfeld didn't exactly bump Koharski. He claimed, "You're out of the league, you hit me, you fell on your own, you fat pig, have another donut." It appears Koharski may have misstepped and his skate blade gave out. Now, if you want to say Koharski was blocked by Schoenfeld, that argument is clear. It's certainly something you can make. Check the YouTube. It's about 2 or 3 minutes. It's quite interesting. Known hockey writer Stan Fischler had the back and forth words as the following. "Oh, you're gone now, you're gone, you won't catch another," shouted Koharski. Schoenfeld shot back, camera right on him. "You fell and you know it. You know you fell, I didn't touch you." Koharski yelled, you're gone, and I hope it's on tape." Schoenfeld said, "Good, 'cause you fell, you fat pig. Have another donut." And again, have another donut. Some people spell it D-O-G-H-N-U-T, but in Canada it's D-O-N-U-T. All that being said, as ugly as this heated exchange was, the true black eye for the league came 2 nights later when the squads got together for Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Schoenfeld had been suspended for a game by the league without a proper hearing. Rich Charret of the Newark Star-Ledger gives the best account of what took place next. And this was all over Hockey Night in Canada as well. NHL Vice President Brian O'Neill announced at 12:32 p.m. local time Sunday, just hours before Game 4 was played at Meadowlands, that Schoenfeld was suspended for at least one game, pending further investigation. Now, Lamoriello, not yet an influential figure with the league, with the Devils, had a plan. He called Judge John A. Conti in an effort to get a temporary restraining order against the NHL that would allow Schoenfeld to coach that night's contests. Conti, a Devils fan who often housed the team's young players at his Mahwah home, put the Devils in touch with the New Jersey Superior Court judge on call. It was Mother's Day, and Bergen County Judge James F. Madden agreed to hear the case at his apartment in Cliffside Park. Now, according to published reports, Lou Drove says Conti, 71, who recalls going along with attorney Patrick Gilmartin. "My wife Lucille and one of my daughters Jennifer had typed up all the papers." The Devils announced they had a court order at 7:20 p.m. after the pregame skate, or 8:20 Atlantic time, and 25 minutes before the game was scheduled to start. Now, when the Devils got the court injunction, referee Dave Doolin and linesman Ray Scapinello and Gord Brostica refused to work the contests. Backup referee Denny Morrell also refused to take the ice. A sellout crowd, myself included, was forced to wait over an hour as all the mess unfolded behind the scenes. Now remember, this is before the internet and cell phones were prevalent, and everyone really was in a state of confusion around the arena. NHL Commissioner John Ziegler was unable to be found. In the end, the game was played by SCAB officials. Paul McGinnis, a manager of a skating rink in Yonkers at the time, took the helm as a referee. The linesmen were Vin Gozlecki and Jim Sullivan, neither of whom were confused to be normal linesmen. It ended up being not only one of the funnier moments I've ever witnessed in professional sport, but it certainly was the most bizarre. Now, according to the author's note, without getting too technical, I didn't witness the donut incident firsthand, nor I was in the bowels of the arena seeing everything unfold. I was in the arena, was only 13 years old at the time, but have always read up on the incident wherever I've seen anything written. So they weren't using regular referee and linesman togs. I think they were using warm-up jerseys, which it was very strange. For prosperity's sake, the Devils went on to take Game 4 of the series by the score 3-1 without incident. After a proper hearing was held for Coach Schoenfeld, was indeed suspended but for a Game 5 of the series, which was the head coaching debut for Lou Lamoriello, who took over for him. Now, the Bruins won Game 5 7-1 to take command of the series. The Devils won Game 6 6-3, but faltered in Boston Garden 6-2 in Game 7. The Bruins went on to lose and 4 straight for the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup final, which was Gretzky's last title in Edmonton. So, ladies and gentlemen, the idea about Don Koharski, I give an example of how would he say it followed him. He was at a golf tournament up in the Campbellton region many years ago. The organizer of the tournament said, we got this linesman, this referee coming in. I asked him, is Don Koharski? I said, you're going to get security. As he was walking up to the main, what he called presentation area, he was severely booed. Now, this was years after. Now, according to Koharski, he did a 1980 story with the Hockey News, and he's basically said the insult would follow Koharski for his entire career. He officiated 17 of 19 regular season games and 246 playoff contests, but while Schoenfeld was suspended for his conduct towards Koharski, the damage was done. Well, he did it to himself before because he was a bad referee. When he retired in 2009, Schoenfeld's harsh words were part of his story, but Koharski quickly came to terms with the insult, as he discussed in the cover story we're talking about, written by Scott Morrison of Hockey News. Unfortunately, what was said that night sticks with you, Koharski told Morrison. I still hear the line occasionally. I still hear that when fans don't like a call I made, which was often. I still see them sitting there with the Dunkin' Donuts bags. You know, I hate donuts, I always have, but you'll never find them in my house. Like all of on-ice NHL officials, the native of Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, understood that criticism of fans, coaches, and players is part of the job. He accepted it, even when he became a punchline for dissatisfaction with the sport's officiating. Now, we're a different breed of human being. That's an understatement of the year. I don't know what breed it is, but I don't want to be part of that. It beats working for a living, but it gets a challenge that appeals to you. It's not like any other job. You never know from one night to the next what's going to happen. Every game there's a different challenge. There's also that sense of running things, maybe the security of being in control, that attracts you. Now, 68 years old, again, he handled the spotlight with grace with a train on him. You have to rule with an iron fist and have the players respect you, he says. You have to be honest with players and yourself, and you have to be sure of yourself on the ice. If you create the perfect referee, the bottom line would be honesty and self-confidence. Well, anyway, Koharski wasn't a perfect referee, according to the article of Hockey News, but he went about his business honestly and earned the lifelong respect of his peers. Now, referees and linesmen were getting a lot of hassle back in the day, but it's like this. If you had the worst umpire in Major League Baseball history attacked by one of the best defensive players in NHL history, now a coach, or like a best, shortstop in baseball history, now a manager, Don Koharski deserved everything he could take because, he's an egotist, like Koharski. I mean, like a Gregson and like Harry Fraser. But have another donut. Has no residence in the States. Like in Canada, you could go into Tim Hortons and you say, you fell your fat pick, and there'd be 75 people of different ages. Have another donut. I don't know if this improved the recognition of Tim Hortons donuts. See, I don't know what Schoenfeld was referring to. Was it a Krispy Kreme or Tim Hortons donuts? Tim Hortons donuts were just seen as a treat back in the day. But as soon as Koharski it's funny that Koharski and Schoenfeld wasn't approached by Tim Hortons to do a commercial. Have another donut on us. If you mention Koharski or Schoenfeld, you get a free donut. That would be great. There should be an anniversary every year at Tim Hortons, tied in with Camp Day or something. I like Jim Schoenfeld. I always have. The 75 Sabres, tremendous team. But Don Koharski, finally the right guy because he hated Montreal. I watched one game with Montreal after they won their last cup. I think they got 17 minor penalties in the first two periods. I don't know why, but it's Don Koharski. So again, have another donut. That's how it goes. So if you like what you're doing here with our NHL Tribute podcast, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share.